Back at it again, Haiti Biz News Show, Monday to Friday, bringing you news that's going to keep you engaged, informed, and reacting in the most optimal way for your business, investment, entrepreneur activity. Today is the 30th of April. Let's talk about it. Charcoal production. We know it. We know it. It is something that is a scourge in the lexicon of what we know is damaging Haiti. We know that there should be a better way, right? The cutting down of trees, the use of trees for energy is wrong, right? On many levels, and there should be alternatives. There needs to be alternatives. There are alternatives that exist, but let's look at the numbers. Let's actually deeply dive into the stats and see what just exactly what we're talking about. World Bank has published a study, very interesting study, and we have a link available to us. World Bank has released a study, Charcoal in Haiti, a national assessment of charcoal production and consumption of trends, right? And the link is below. You can grab the whole PDF. It's 82 pages. It's a great bathroom read if you're in there for that long, okay? And we get some real numbers. We get some real numbers behind charcoal. First off, what is charcoal? You know, it's basically when you grab wood and you heat it up without oxygen. It becomes really black. It really condenses the energy that exists in those carbon products, right? And wood being the biggest one. And then allows it to, when you release it, to, you know, really last and sustain much longer and burn in a much more controlled fashion later, after the fact, during when you're actually using it, okay? And so, you know, the practice of charcoal production started in the 1920s. Already, Haiti has suffered, big attacks on its forestry throughout, colonialism. And in 1920s, we saw a very large movement towards using charcoal and wood to sustain. And so, but the big headline number is 5%. What is 5%? 5% of GDP is currently being produced by or as a component by charcoal production. $400 million of economic activity is around charcoal, right? Port-au-Prince alone is consuming 438,000 metric tons of charcoal annually. And last time they did the study in 1985, that amount has gone up by 5, right? By 5 times we've seen that amount, that value uptick, right? Meaning we're becoming even more dependent on it. Sources, we got 40% of where the charcoal is coming in from, being the southern peninsula, that little handle from Jacmel all the way down through Okai, through Jérémy. 40% is coming from there. 20% is coming from the Central Plateau, which is a Latibonite area there. And then the other, about 20% is coming from Quadabouquet, Tamazo, so basically that area, slightly, west of, slightly east of the Central Plateau. Only 2.3% is coming from DR. A big thing I hear from those DRians that are most negative about Haiti is, they're coming in there, they're cutting our trees for their charcoal. Only 2.3% is coming per this study. So we have so what this means really is that we have a value chain. Again, when you add together where the diverse places where this charcoal is coming from domestically, and the fact that it's a $400 million GDP industry, what you're seeing then is that the value chain involved from taking this wood, producing it, transporting it, then selling it throughout the different places, different markets and machines in Haiti, that entire value chain is the second largest in Haiti after mangoes, right? Let's look at the numbers, right? It's the production behind charcoal is second to mangoes, and it eclipses, I'm talking, if you do a pie chart, right, and you put mangoes and charcoal together, every other sliver would be just tiny, right? And we're talking yams, bananas, beans, avocados, coffee, sugarcane, corn, you name it. All the things that you're consuming domestically, tiny, the itty bitty fraction as when you compare it to what's going on with charcoal, right? 26.7% of all agricultural production is focused on producing charcoal, right? Because if you take a step back and we think about, okay, if we have, a lot of the primary growth, we've talked about this in other videos, the primary growth of Haiti is down to only 1%, right? Currently, and it's scheduled to be less than 1% within very, very shortly here. Again, the next question is, where are we getting this wood to produce? Well, I can tell you there are things that are being produced specifically with the intent of producing charcoal. One very common thing, I learned that through Regine Theodat and the episode of we went to Mia Bell's farm. Around her farm, and even on her farm, in fact, there are local citizens, local folks who live in that area, local residents, that produce this very coarse, very thorny vine, which is then cut down to produce charcoal. And the turnaround time of this vine is about 2-3 years. It takes about 2-3 years to cultivate, and that is just one example. And again, it takes very little water, it takes very little maintenance cost, and it can grow wildly and crazily, and again, produce a lot of charcoal. And a lot of these folks depend on that to send their kids to school and just general living, what they sell from the cultivation of that. So 26% of agriculture right now in Haiti is centered around the production of charcoal. And to put this in context, right? That's 15 times more than our largest export which is essential oils. That is 30 times more than coca exporting. That is 40 times more than our mango exporting, right? And that is 650 times more than our coffee exporting, right? I mean, that is an industry that is deeply ingrained currently in the economic system. But more importantly, though, given that the primary growth available to us is gone in Haiti, right? The way it's being produced now, it's being produced in a sustainable way, right? Since the free trees to cut are gone, and this product has such a very large economic essentialness to it, we've seen now, again, the sustainable practices being done in place, which, to be honest, gives me hope that perhaps if we could start a replanting tree campaign and then enforce the cutting down of trees much more universally and consistently, potentially the agriculture component of the way folks are doing the farming might be able to endure and sustain. In general, though, we're looking at right now in Haiti, 80% of the energy needs of the country being produced in this manner, right? Right or wrong, right? Electricity grids are very far away from producing 24/7 electricity. Sorry, Jovenel, it's not going to happen under your term. That's for sure. And propane is just too expensive. It's not subsidized like other places. Jamaica subsidizes it for their people so they can stay away from cutting down trees. So there really isn't an alternative right now in the country, and charcoal, though, has really become a bedrock of, a lot of people are talking about, do we need domestic production? Charcoal has become truly a domestic product that is sustaining the livelihood of many, many people. Analysis. So coming on to, as someone, looking to get into agriculture in the country, someone who's looking for very little up time to produce, having to find the value chain and the entire process. Someone who wants to just plug in into a system that's already mature. Think about charcoal, right? Again, there are sustainable ways of doing it, right? Sustainable ways to grow particular types of plants that are very conductive to quick returns and quick growth with, again, the key thing is minimal uptake, minimal upside, minimal maintenance costs, right? And so we have an opportunity here that I don't hear anyone ever talks about, of producing for this industry in mass and really winning, really gaining a lot of money potentially out of this, out of a venture that really can bring industrial best practices to the forefront for sale. And again, keep that all domestically potentially. And who knows, grow enough to a point where we might actually be a sustainable exporter of charcoal. Something to think about. Certainly would like to hear more folks trying that route and having more conversations with people trying that route. So we'll see how ultimately that goes. If anyone has any ideas about that or looking to get in, I'd love to hear your comments. Write something down in the comments below. You already know. Give it a like. If you like what I'm doing here, Monday to Friday, every day, we're dropping nuggets of information related to economic activity and investment. Hit a subscribe, hit a notification, share it with somebody. And listen, until we're back at it again, we're back at it again.